there, Kevin. Hi guys, Alec, Peirce at the ranch. Beautiful day up here at the ranch, and I mean it's just gorgeous. Sun's out, a little wee bit of a breeze, and it's just a beautiful day. So it's a pretty crazy day to be cleaning the chimney, but let me give you a tip. You don't want to be sweeping the chimney in the middle of winter. No, no, no. So you do it in the spring or the fall. Now I'm doing this is late spring. I'm going to do it right now, partly because we want this video. You can do it anytime you want, but you do it in good weather. So sweeping your chimney. You have two choices for sweeping your chimney. One is to call the chimney sweep. Yeah, they're happy. That's their profession, and they're happy to do that. Now they'll book an appointment, which is usually a week, sometimes 10 days in advance, and they'll pick a time when you're going to be home. Yes, you have to be home, and they're going to come out and climb up and sweep your chimney. And then they give you an invoice for $150 to $200, and they go away, and your chimney's good. Or you can do it yourself for nothing. Not only do you get to you learn about your chimney, you learn how the chimney works, and you learn how to sweep and all that neat stuff, but you also get some fantastic views because you have to be up on the roof. I don't know if I can mention that or not. So in this little video, I'm going to cover a couple of things. Obviously, sweeping the chimney, which is very, very easy. It takes seconds to do that, but also a couple of other neat things that we've discovered here at the ranch. Been doing this for a long time. And maybe some of these ideas will be of some interest to you guys out there on a farm or on a ranch or thinking of starting a hobby farm, whatever. Okay, first of all, the ladder. Yeah, the ladder. I have a ladder right here. I'm leaning on it, right? And we have lots of ladders here at the ranch. We have a 10-foot, 25-foot. I have a 35-foot extension ladder that I use for trimming the big trees and stuff around, depending on what I'm doing. But this ladder right here has proven to be a pretty handy ladder for us. I don't really know the name of this ladder. It's offered in different configurations at different places. Home Depot has it and so on. You've probably seen these. I think they're called a combination ladder or whatever it's called, but they're pretty neat. They're quite compact. You can pick it up and hang it on the hook on the wall inside your garage, and there you go. Now this ladder is neat because you see, it's a step ladder, so you can climb up one side and down the other side. I don't know if a lot of you do that, but the point is that you can use this as a step ladder, and it locks in place. You heard it snap into place, so it's a very, very strong step ladder, 350-pound capacity. So, gosh, I think Kevin could use this, yeah, and it's a great ladder. They're very, very strong. But the beauty of this ladder is that it has so many different configurations. Let me show you. I'm going to get my beautiful wife Diana to come and show me this and give me a hand with this, because this it's not hard, but it's a little bit heavy, and my 6 grandchildren apparently want me to live a little longer, and they've warned me not to do anything that's dangerous. So here we go. Thank you, Diana. And how will we do this? We'll stretch it out first? Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can get it stretched out here. You bang that side. That side's in. That side's in. Yeah. So you see what happens, folks, here? You see the ladder now becomes an extension ladder. It's just that simple. Now, this is only about 8 feet long, but it doubles up in length. Watch this. You see it's got these special hooks on each side. So you pull the hook out like that. There you go, Daniel, that's yours. Pull the hook out like so. And now this goes up like that. You put the hook back in, and these are very, very strong stainless hooks that latch in, snap into place. And it there, a little further down. There we go. That's that half. And then the bottom half, exactly the same thing. So now our little extension ladder, our little step ladder, has now become 21-foot extension ladder. So if you guys use ladders very much, this just might be something for you to think about. Now, there's another small accessory that we often use as well, because our house here has eaves troughs, as most houses do, and eaves troughs, if you go up and down very often anyway, if you go up on the roof very often, if you never go on your roof, don't buy one of these things. But if you do go on the roof occasionally, these are a great little plastic device. You could probably make up something like this, but you can buy these. They're 10 bucks maybe, and they're just a handy device. Simple. This sits in the eaves trough, you see? It sits over one of the supports like that, just like so. And then your ladder sits against here. Now the beauty of that is that the eaves trough is not damaged. That's right, even if you have 2 or 3 big people climbing the ladder up and down all day, because the ladder is not really touching the eaves trough. Plus there's a couple of pockets in here to put tools, you know, you're always climbing up and down and putting screwdrivers and so on in there. So this is a neat little device called the ladder mount. whatever. I'm sure there's other ones, but we have found this to be really handy as well. Okay, so now Diana and I are going to set this up on the roof so we can get up there, and then we're going to climb up there and clean the chimney. Okay, we'll be right back. Let's go, Di. Okay. Welcome back. We got the ladder up in place here. Now you have to get your tools together. That's not going to be too hard. Let me show you exactly what you need to clean your own chimney, to sweep your own chimney. And then maybe this will help you decide, gosh, you know, why am I paying some guy $100 or more to do this for me? Okay, here's what you need. It's really important. You need to have a pair of pliers. Now, this will depend on exactly what your chimney is like. We'll discuss this more in just a minute, but you need one tool, probably a pair of pliers. And then you need to have one of these. It's called a flashlight. Okay, pair of pliers, flashlight. That's simple enough. And then you need to have, I'm just hearing the chickens over there in my chicken tractor. They're laying eggs. That's what they're doing, Kevin, in case you're wondering. And then you have to have one of these. This is actually your chimney sweep rod and brush. So you buy a brush like this, and these are cheap. The whole assembly is not $50. So you buy a brush like this, and the brush will the size of the brush depends on the size of your chimney. So ours is a 7-inch insulated chimney, and so it's a 7-inch brush. They come in 5, 6, 7, and I don't know if they come bigger than that, but they do. And the brush just assembles together like this. That goes on like so, and then that brush goes onto there, and you see, and so you make this chimney brush as long as you need to for your chimney. I'm going to climb the ladder and get up on the roof and go over to the chimney, and then I will show you how it's done and just how easy it is. Hopefully this will save you money and some time. And you know what? It's kind of fun to do it yourself too. Sometimes we're out at one of the community events or something, and I bump into one of my neighbors and we get talking. And as I had the chimney sweep over the other day to get the chimney done, a good guy, you know, comes out and $125 went up from last year. And then, you know, maybe he'll say, how about you? You get yours done? I said, yeah, I did mine myself. And he just looks at me, he's quiet. Oh, yeah, okay. It's kind of fun. It really is fun. Okay, I'm going to get up the ladder, get up by the chimney. I'll show you how this goes together and how simple it is to clean your own chimney. Well, here we are. Guys, I made it up the ladder. Kevin made it up the ladder too. Told you it was a good ladder. That plastic device that I showed you earlier is a good idea. And the other thing it does, I was watching this as Kevin was coming up, is it also stops the ladder from shifting from left to right on the eaves troughs. If you ever climbed a ladder that's up on eaves troughs, you know the edges are slippery. But that thing locks over one of the eaves troughs pins, and it can't slide. And then it's got rubber inserts so the ladder sits against with little ledges on it. So that's a great thing. I know I've been up here sometimes and it's been very windy, and I've actually watched the ladder start to move, which is not very comforting. But anyways, that's a good idea, that little device. So here I am up at the chimney. This is our chimney. Chimneys are all a bit different, but they largely have the same bases. They come out of the roof of your house. It could be cement, it could be wood. There's a variety of things that it could be made of. Ours is wood, it's plywood, but it has a stone facing on it. And then I actually made this cement top, whatever you want to call it, lid. We formed out of plywood what we wanted, and then we mixed the cement and poured it in and shaped it a little bit, knocked off the blade, and there we go. Now here's another good reason why you should consider doing this yourself. You get to look around. It's a beautiful day. I mean, I can see for miles. No, you don't need to move it, Kev. But you get to look around, which is kind of neat. But you also get to look at your roof. How often do you get to see your roof? A vital part of your home, and other things up here as well. So I'm checking everything. This is a new roof. We had a new roof put on this year. But I'm up here and I'm looking at my cement top, and I see it's got a crack right through it. I guess I should have used some reinforcement or something. I can't remember if I did or not, but it could have cracked right through it. So later I'll come back up with a crack filler. You know, there's a special stuff that you silicone based that you can fill and put into the cracks so the water doesn't go down in there and freeze and make it even worse. So coming up on the roof to do some of your own jobs, if you're able to, and if you want to, there's a lot of benefits to that. Okay, here we are. We're supposed to be talking about sweeping the chimney. So let's sweep the darn chimney. Here we go. Now every chimney lid is a little bit different. Top is a little bit different, but a lot are like this. They usually have some screws or a cap. The cap's held on some way. So that's what the pliers are for. Now you'll have to go and take a look at yours and decide what you need. Do you need a wrench, a pair of pliers, whatever you need? And so on this particular one, it's got four of these thumb screws, and you just undo the thumb screws like that and set them down. Don't lose them. Set down carefully, because in high winds, we have wind here almost all the time. There's never a day when it's not windy. It's always wind, so this will vibrate and off it'll go. So you take those four screws off, and there's the chimney off. Now take a look at that's clean. That's pretty clean. Now we keep our chimney very, very clean anyway. I always do this, almost every year. I do this anyway. It's simply good insurance. But, you know, if you burn your fire well, you shouldn't really, I'm going to put this over here, Kevin, because it's shining right in my eyes. If you burn your wood well, you won't have any problems. Now this is an insulated chimney. You folks that have fireplaces, you know what I mean. It has the very thick walls on it. Insulated chimney. And most people, quite rightly, think that insulated chimneys are there to protect the house. They don't get hot on the outside of the chimney. So if it touches wood, which it shouldn't do, but if it does touch wood or anything else that can burn, it doesn't start a fire. And that's true. That's a good reason to have insulated chimneys. But there's another excellent reason as well. First of all, you need to understand that the problem with chimneys is that deposits on them. They get soot, of course, the stuff burns, it produces soot, just dry carbon comes up, and sometimes that dry carbon sticks to the walls. But worse than that, often there are uncondensed gases in there, and they're moist gases. No matter how dry your wood is, there's moisture in there. And so that moist gas that comes up the chimney, and as it comes up the chimney, it will cool. And as it cools, it condenses, it turns back into water, or moisture anyway, and it'll stick to the chimney. And it's a black, oily, greasy. If you reach down and touch it, it comes out, it's almost greasy on your hands, called creosote. You've heard that term before. The problem with creosote is that creosote burns. That's right. So if a spark comes up or it gets particularly hot one day and there's a lot of creosote in your chimney, the creosote can catch fire. It's like motor oil or diesel fuel. It'll actually catch fire and you get a chimney fire. That's why I'm up here. That's why I'm up here today, is to be sure the chimney is ready for the winter's burning. Now we solve the problem to some extent by always making sure our fire is hot. We don't start a fire, get the house or the room a little bit warm, and then shut it down before the wood's really, really got hot. If you do that, if you run what's called cold fires, they don't get really hot, that's where you get creosote. The creosote comes up the chimney and condenses, and you run the risk of a chimney fire. So a couple of things. First of all, with an insulated chimney, the inside liner stays hot. Yeah, because it's insulated, so it stays hot. So the creosote is less likely to condense and stick to the inside of the chimney. So with an insulated chimney, you're less likely to get creosote buildup, which can block the chimney and or start a fire. And the other thing you need to do is make sure you burn hot. You should get your fires hot as possible, at least once in a while. Anyway, once a week if you burn regularly, make sure you get a good hot fire. Build it up really, really hot until you can't even get near the front of the fireplace, and make sure that it gets really hot, because that fire will then go up and burn off that creosote. But I mean burn off, it'll boil it, if you like, turn it back into a gas and spit it out into the air so it doesn't build up. However, let's take a look here. So I got the chimney open, I've looked down inside, and this is pretty clean. The top edge is a little bit of soot. Very little soot in there. You go down a little bit farther, some little heavier soot, but really it's just soot. Now, even with the flashlight, it's really bright today, but with the flashlight, if you can get close and shut out the sunlight, or maybe do this in the evening or something, you can see way down your chimney. I can see right down to the bend, and that's about 16, 18 feet down there. I can see the bend before it just goes into the fireplace. And that last little section is only a couple of feet long, so I can see it basically right down almost into my fireplace. So you can see down in there, and it looks pretty good. So here we go. Let's see what your chimney sweep does to earn his money. First of all, you attach your brush, of course, to the end of the rod, and then you put it in the middle of the chimney, and you give it a push. Yeah, that's hard. And give it another push, and then that's all you do. You just keep on going, and you just go down inside the chimney. Now, you saw that brush had a lot of tines on it. So as it's going down, it actually turns a little bit as it goes down, and it goes down, down, and you just keep on going. Make sure those joints are tight, by the way. Yeah, I'm not sure if I have a solution what to do if the rod breaks off or comes off down there. When you get it all the way down, you can pull it all the way back up, you see? And you notice it was hard to pull up. Why was that? Well, the reason for that is that the 7-inch brush is actually about 8 inches in diameter. So when it goes down in, the tines bend up like this, so it goes down in. When you try to pull it up, the tines try to straighten. But they can't quite straighten. You have to give it a hard tug, and the tines will bend and up it comes. Whoa, look at that. Very little, very little. See that little bit of smoke there? Very, very little, and nothing dirty on my tines at all. Now I have another section. I'm going to do that one more time just to show you how easy it is. Center the brush, get her going. Just a minute now. Down we go. And eventually it'll stop. because eventually it hits a bend or it hits your fireplace. So if it hasn't stopped, well, you put another section on here and keep right on going. And this whole arrangement, this whole device is pretty cheap. I'm sure they have them at, I don't know, Harbor Freight, or maybe a TSC, places like that. Just go online and find out where they have a chimney sweep brush, right size for your chimney. Just go up and measure the hole, get the right one. Okay, let's see how far we can go here. Oh, yeah, I told you it was long. Oh, that's it. I'm at the bottom now. So I'm at the bend right down inside the fireplace. And one of my episodes coming up, I'm going to actually show you our airtight fireplace. It heats our whole home. 1,500 square feet, heats the whole home with wood. Beautifully, easy and fun as well. I'll show you a couple of neat things about it. But anyway, I'm down at the fireplace right now. Let me see if I can get this reversed. There we go. Pull it up. Oh, I'll take this off now. If I get this up too high, this would be too long. Tips over and hits Kevin and knocks his camera over. I'll never hear the end of it. So we're going to take this off now. Well, that wasn't very hard. I guess I should have worn a pair of gloves too. I knew that our chimney wasn't very dirty, but I like to do this every year anyway, just to be sure. Up it comes. Here comes the brush. Out it goes. Again, a little bit of smoke. There's no creosote in there. Brush is nice and clean. It's not oily or dirty. Oh boy, oh boy. This is great. I'm actually going to take a picture of this to show you of the inside of the chimney. Kevin, I need a picture. Take a look at this. All right, that's it. Nice and clean. Make sure your lid is nice and clean, all this area. If you want to do a little bit of steel wooling around there, then put your covers back in. Put your screws back in. Don't break any. Don't over tighten them. Just put them in snugly with the pliers. Make sure it's all nice and straight and solid on the top there. Don't forget to leave your tools behind. Everything's all set to go. There you go. Chimney swept. That's pretty good. Chimney swept. There you go, guys. It's just that easy. So if you have a wood fire in your home, and a lot of you do, it's becoming extremely popular these days, then that's exactly what you need to know to sweep your own chimney. Saves money and it's fun too. Now you can take a look around, Kevin. This is where we live. See you soon. Alec Peirce at the ranch.